Hi guys, welcome back. So Dylan's on his way over. He's going to get into his XK again and sand back the dashboard. So we're not going to respray inside the car. He's just going to give it a light scuff down with some Scotch-Brite, and we're going to clear over what's there and keep all of the pinstriping that Kane did on the dashboard to start with. So we're just going to seal that in so it doesn't get any more surface rust than it's already got. And I'm going to be getting into, where is it? That pile of parts there that we need to put the work ute back together after, the issues through the week. So I'll get some cars moved, we'll get down to the shed and we'll go from there. Right, so Dylan's on his way down. He's just had to stop at the workshop and grab some bits and pieces, and the apprentice that's going to give us a hand to fix up the front end of this Falcon that he stoved in is still on the nest, I suppose, so he'll get here when he gets here. So what I'm going to do is go through and give this a wipe down, get the dust and dirt off, and then we'll give it a rub with some acetone to get the residue off from where the sign writing was stuck on it, and then we'll get in and give it a key back to get it ready for primer. Hopefully this residue comes off with a bit of acetone. So that way we're not clogging the sandpaper up with all that blue residue. Now this stuff wasn't on anywhere near as well as the stuff that was on the Mondeo, so it's come off really well. There we go. Now I'll get a scraper and get this double-sided tape off that the factory held that strip on with. And we'll be right to sand it. rest of that should come off with acetone. I think that's it. Alrighty, let's get this rubbed back. Needs a bit more there. And a bit more down the bottom there. And then we can close on. Okay, I don't know whether it'll show up on the camera or not, but this paint job on this car was less than 4 years old, so we know the white paint is all fairly solid because we did it. Now all we're trying to do is make sure it's all feathered and smoothed out, there's no transition lines, and make sure it's all keyed back to give it a light coat of sealer, and then we'll go into the new color because the new paint scheme is black predominantly. So rather than having a whole lot of black vinyl wrapped on there, we've got to repair the panels anyway, so we're going to paint them black. So pretty much everything's done up till there. That's still shiny. We'll get in and give that a hit back, and that fender will be pretty much good enough for a little delivery ute. Right, so we're going to call it quits for the night. We've got all the repair panels for the BA rubber backed, wiped down, masked up, ready to go first thing in the morning. So in the morning we'll get down and get that in primer and go from there. So for now, we'll see you in the morning. Dylan's car's all ready. We're just waiting to organise for Kane to come back and touch up a few of the pinstripes on the dashboard. So got a bit done today. Didn't have a lot of time to record, but tomorrow we'll record getting the primer on this lot. So see you in the morning. Good morning, welcome back to day 2. We'll let the old girls warm up for a little bit and go for a walk through and see what we actually got done yesterday. Right, so in this one here, the microphone cut out and stopped working. So yesterday, Dylan and I got some bits and pieces bolted back on the XK, the bonnet and the boot lid, so we can try and gap them and get them ready so we can longboard them as part of the car. The rubber bump stops for the bonnet are missing, so he's got to find those so we can get them in there and get it all lined up. And him and Ashley then went through and scuffed all of the dashboard with Scotch-Brite. So the idea being, now under the bonnet's going to stay gloss black. We've done the top edges where the guard's there, bolt on black. So later on when he goes to pull the motor out and clean it up, he can mask from there down without pulling the car apart again and black out the engine bay. So the idea of Scotch-Briting the dash and these two little grey inserts when we finally get to the front doors, that's just showing the boot lid there where we've repaired that back section and made that, it lines up.
So here, where Kane has done the pinstriping on the original dash and the original doors, that's staying. It's going to give it a bit of a contrast and a grey insert. Kane's going to come back out and retouch the pinstripes for us, and then we're going to clear over those and clear over the dash to leave it looking factory but not let it weather or wear any more than it already is. Hopefully we can maybe get him to do a little bit of a border outline on those cutout recesses where the door ones are, and that there across the whole top of the front dash is going to stay as well. He's just got a couple of spots to touch up, and then we'll clear the dash top and front face, and he'll retrim the interior later on to suit. And that there, where I was talking about, where the grey meets the white, hopefully Kane can do something like a pinstripe there to break the two colours up. So that was that side of things. And when we get back in the shed here, we had Connor over so he could get in and rub back the bumper and the grille. They had to be wet rubbed, raw plastic, brand new ones. Hate doing that, so I got him to do that. And the two front fenders and the bonnet I knocked back with the palm sander and 240 grit. 240? No, 120 grit, sorry. And they've all been wiped down, washed, ready to get the primer on today. So that's pretty much it for them. They're all good to go. I couldn't get the bumper and the grille painted today because I didn't have any of the hardener for the Protect sealer. It's a sealer primer and can be used wet on wet and goes on really nice and flat when you use it in wet on wet. But I didn't have the hardener for it. So what I did was then used a different primer that I've got, which I probably shouldn't have, and it bit me on the backside because it's rubbish. But here we go. Okay, so slight change of plans. I don't have any more hardener for the Protect Multi-Prime, which you can use as a wet on wet. And I don't have any of the wet on wet converter to use with the Roberto. So I've got the bumper and grille out of the room at the moment. Through the week I'll grab another can of hardener for the multi-prime, and we'll do the bumper and the grille separately. So today we're just going to go for primer filler on the bonnet and the front fenders. Let that set off and we'll give it a block back, and we may, depending on what the weather does, we may get colour and clear on them today. Probably not, but we'll see how we go. Alright, so I'm going to go get some paint ready and we'll get in there. Okay, so I switched mics over because that one went flat. We've got our primer filler mixed up. It's 4-to-1. We're running about 25% thinners in it today with a slow hardener because it's cold, and I've had it sit for about 2 to 3 minutes after we've mixed it all up, just to let it settle down. I don't know if it's the right thing to do with this particular one, but the Epitech one says that's what you do on there, and it seems to lay on nice. So I'm going to go in, we'll give it a couple of coats of that. We're running a 1.4 mil tip on the gun. Yeah, see what it lays out like. Right, so we've got the fenders out in the sun for a little bit. Hey doggo. So they haven't come up too bad. They got a little bit of orange peel in them, so they're going to just get a bit of a block down and ready for some sealer. I'm not 100% happy with the primer I used on these. It wasn't the Roberto. It was something else I had a little bit left over. Oops, sorry about the wind. Something I had a little bit left over of, and I thought, yeah, why waste it? Put it on here. And yeah, I should have just got rid of it. It's junk. Doesn't flow that nice. Really heavy, thick stuff. No matter what amount of thinners you put in there, and just doesn't flow off the gun nice. Bonnet, it's doable. It's come up okay. It's laying out flat mostly. There's a few little issues and blemishes, but so yeah, we'll give it some time to set off, and we'll have a bite to eat,
and get back into it after about, oh look, they've been off the gun now for about an hour. So they probably need another 3 or so with this weather we're having to be ready to sand, and then we'll see how they block back and get them ready for sealer when I get some more of the hardener for the Protex sealer during the week, and we'll get them sealed and in colour when we go to do the plastics. All right, back soon. Okay, so we've got a heat lamp running in here because it's damn cold. Okay, it's not south like New South Wales or Victoria cold, but for a North Queensland guy, it's damn cold. And this paint has taken the best part of 4 to 5 hours to set off, like the longer section of the hardening time. But we've misted some black aerosol acrylic, satin black over the top, and we're going to start by giving it a rub with some, what's this one, 240 paper, and then we'll work down to 320 just to take out some of the orange peel and any of the hangs and runs that we've got in there. Not going to go all the way back with the 240. Going to leave some there to go with the 320. That way we've got less chance of rubbing through. Don't want to work the edges too much because we don't want to burn through them. Now, in all honesty, aerosol black paint is not ideal for a guide coat. It works, but it will clog your paper up faster.
I've never bought the dry guide coat, but it is better than this. But this works. That's what we had. Now, I don't know whether it'll show up. Let's see. If you look down there, probably not going to show up. Take us off of here. That primer I was talking about that was really thick to spray no matter what we did. All through there. It's gone on with a really coarse texture that shows up when you put the black guide coat on. Like, in all fairness, it does sand off okay once you do rub it, but we probably should have waited until I got the hardener for the Protec. That lays on, because the guards didn't really need priming as such, they just needed sealing. But yeah, it flows on so much nicer and smoother. So got quite a decent run through there where it went on thick. Not so much a run, it was just thick. So that's going to take a bit of work, but the rest of that panel laid on okay. So it shouldn't take too much to block. And the right-hand front one, the new one that we got, we're lucky enough that it actually went on okay. A little bit of texture in it, but it's not too bad. So it'll block off okay too. So bonnet on the other hand is going to be an absolute nightmare over in that corner, but that's a later on problem. That'll be tomorrow or the day after. It'll need a bit more hardening to, a bit more time to harden up and set. I'll pop yours back up here and we'll get into it. Okay, so that's a quick hit with the 240 over that whole top section there of the fender. No real rub throughs, a couple of tiny little spots there, but that's through the white paint underneath, not actual primer. So, or bare metal, sorry. So that is pretty much what we've got to do with both fenders all over. And then we'll get into the 320 on top of that, and then that'll be right for sealer. So once we get it down to 320, I'm going to leave it there because you just don't need to see me keeping on rubbing that stuff back. It's all going to be the same. So once we've got all those knocked back, they'll be ready for next weekend to get the sealer coat on, and we'll go straight from sealer to black to clear. And then hopefully we can get the car down here the week after, and we'll wet rub the whole car. Sorry, the whole cabin, not these, because these will be done, and get it ready to put the colour on the car body as well. And then we can bolt it all back together. All right, so thanks for watching. Thanks for coming back. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And I'm going to go back and correct where the microphone cut out last time and try and do a bit of voiceover in where it just cut out altogether. So thanks a lot, guys. See you next time.